everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of McCall Media TV Live, whereby today I'm going to be actually joined by a lovely lady called Jennifer, who is a bit of a YouTube pro compared to the likes of myself at the moment. And I'm going to be picking her brains and asking her the questions that you guys have been asking me, but I haven't quite got that far down the journey with my YouTube channel myself yet. So I'm gonna propose these questions to her and see what it's like behind the scenes once you get to that point where you can become a partner of YouTube and monetize your channel. So without further ado, do remember that if you are watching me or visiting my channel for the first time, remember to subscribe. There's a little link on the screen there. Do click that bell to stay notified, and of course you can click or catch up with me across all my different social media channels. Okay, so we are joined today by the lovely Jennifer, or better known as by her YouTube name, Mamafurfur. Is that how it's named?
Yeah, yes, exactly, Mamafurfur. Yes, exactly.
So, first things first, I've got to ask, why the name Mamafurfur?
That's the most common question I get asked. Nothing to do with money or investing. Mamafurfur. Okay, summary was I was 16, working in a clothes shop, and there was two Jennifers. So in order to tell us apart, I was called Furfur. Okay, so there you get the Furfur. It makes sense. It's the last part of my name.
Yeah.
And then as I had children and life kind of expanded, I've got some stepchildren, and so it was easy to say Mama. And then so it became Mamafurfur. And I actually started when I was making a blog maybe 7 years ago now. When I first started entering content creation, I wanted something quirky and just something about motherhood. I used to talk about motherhood mainly, and so Mamafurfur. And surprisingly, nobody had the domain name, so there we go. And I've had it, and it's stuck. And I think I'm totally fine if people are searching for Mamafurfur and I pop up. It is so, it's a standout thing. So there we go.
Oh, well, I have to say I love it, and it definitely has stayed in my head since I've crossed paths with you.
Exactly. You can't remember.
I always felt like I had to double check your real name to make sure that I wasn't getting it wrong. To make sure. Anyway, okay, so please sort of enlighten us a little bit about how you've become this like established YouTube platform now that you are, and sort of give us a little bit of a backstory as to how you've got to where you are today.
Oh, okay. So I touched upon that I'd started in the blogging world, first of all, about 7-8 years ago. I'm just writing, blog posts about motherhood. Saw other people do it, looked quite fun. So I thought, I've got something to share, unique angle and all that. So mamafurfur.com came first. And then about 2016, I was due to have my second child, and I started making YouTube videos. So if you trek all the way back in my videos, you'll see there's a couple of videos at the very, very start that are general kind of, there's motherhood, there's evening routines, there's a hairdryer review. It's just like smorgasbord, right? And that's what I was kind of vibing. I wanted to, again, expand my blog and kind of do something. I'd seen other people do, YouTube, and it looked quite fun. And then I can remember the exact moment in time. It was March 2018, and I hadn't really done a lot of videos, maybe one a month, very sporadic, nothing serious. And I did a video about budgeting, because I really felt like it's super important to teach people as a mother or as a parent how to budget, how to have a household budget. And I can remember that same night thinking I should talk about money. So to give you background, in our journey, we have paid off £24,000 worth of consumer debt. So before that day of doing YouTube, we'd had this journey with money, paying off this large amount, learning about investing, learning about budgeting, basically everything that that is good habits we had to learn. And so when I had that epiphany moment that I felt I need to make money content, you can see it kind of happens. You'll see it just kind of switches, and I just felt like that's what I should share. I felt really passionate about money, really passionate about sharing avenues that. And if you did a Google search or a YouTube search back then, there was nobody talking about money. There was nobody making videos about investing or side hustles or, budget, any of these. I couldn't find someone in the UK, and I couldn't even find a woman, never mind a man, that kind of thing. So that was really the start of my journey. 2018 in March, I put out one video a week, probably for about a year and a half. So just up till last summer, before I upped my quantity of videos. But in terms of journey, between the March and September, I hit 1,000 subs. So you
Right.
kind of, that was the first bit. And
this
then,
really is still quite fresh to you then. You've not even quite made it a year in this process.
well, it was 9 months, 6 months, really, like kind of getting to and obviously because I'd had the channel for a couple of years, you're organically getting 1 or 2. Like I think I started maybe 40 when I actually started making videos once a week. And so from there, that boost to 1K, and then within another 3 months, I hit monetization. So 9 months of effort with money. And remember, it was very searchable. The topics I was creating, people were looking for as a UK creator as well. So that was my monetization journey. And now since 2018, December 2018, I've been monetized, all the way since then. I've obviously shared quite a lot of balancing my day job, which is what, I've still got a day job, and YouTube and a business that's kind of flourishing.
Which is great, which is part of the reason why I'm kind of kicking myself, really, because as we had a little bit of chat the other day, I've been a big YouTube fan for a long time, and I didn't actually explain this, but this is my third rodeo attempt, shall we say, because I actually kicked off about 5 years ago with a ex-BBC presenter, and he was very much, you use your what's it called, the tele thingy, I can't remember. Prompter, and he was like very prim and proper, and he sadly shortly into our journey got diagnosed with motor neuron disease. And so before we really kind of had chance to get up and running, we'd done about 13 videos, so it's like 1 a week kind of thing, and he then got this diagnosis, and then within 6 months he'd sadly passed. So I then couldn't really use the content, didn't feel right, so I deleted my channel. And this was about I was going to say 5 years ago, but I actually think it was 4 years ago, thinking about the time and my age of my girls. And then for me, I started this process again literally a couple of years ago. So if you look at the age of my channel, you'll see that it was launched in November 2017. But I didn't really do anything because at the time I was trying to do a YouTube studio from my living room with the girls, and I was waiting for the girls because they were quite young to go up to bed, and it was quite stressful, and I wasn't really delivering in the way that I wanted to. And then you could see that I was kind of tight and wound up when I was doing, and it wasn't executing the way that I had this vision. So but I stopped and then literally turned off all my videos. And so I thought, literally this time round, third time's a charm, I would give it a go. But it's kind of kicking myself now that I didn't just kind of carry on with that momentum, because I have 5 years under my belt now, and that's it's
could be a million. Everything's for a reason, right? And I think you go through vibes and stages. So absolutely, whatever's meant to be is the perfect timing for it, no doubt.
No worries. So I've got a couple of other questions for you. Okay, so please explain, if this is okay with you, how your cost per click sort of metrics work, because I know that different industries rate and the 1,000 views and things have different monetization stages. So talk to me about your world, as it were, and how that works.
Now, the terms and conditions of YouTube say that you shouldn't be really discussing different metrics. So I'm letting you into that insight, but I'll give you a flavour. I'll circle around.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Because it is very personal. So obviously this thing called CPM basically means click per, 1,000 views. It's an algorithm of that. We also have another metric as well that just been introduced, which is called RPM.
Yes, I've seen that.
Your true payout approximately. So CPM is based on what they can charge an advertiser to put an ad in front of your video or halfway through your video or the end. And that's a dollar value, because they're based in a dollar. And basically every topic based on the keywords and the tags that you use will likely have an associated CPM. Now, you don't ever get to see the CPM. You just kind of see it in your post data analysis. Oh, that's got a $70 CPM, or that's got a $5. You can have CPMs all the way up to hundreds of dollars, depending on the demand for your viewer eyeballs. And this RPM, which is the next step along now, is meant to be, so they split it between you and YouTube. So it's literally division of 2. So that's CPM then divided by 2. Now, how it works for me in the money niche, depending on what type of videos I make, what topics I cover, investing, business ideas tends to be very highly rewarded for advertisers, because if you watch a video about how to invest, the chances are you're going to want to invest your money in some way. And so people who have investing apps, there's obviously, fees and charges associated with investing. So they want your viewers' eyeballs. So in the money kind of niche, it tends to be the most sought after. There's no guarantees depending on what you make as a video, but the kind of standard they always say is like a lifestyle vlogger, lifestyle vlogs, more generic, might be down about the $1 to $5 metric CPM, so $1 to $5 per 1,000 views. Okay, so if you've got 1 million views a month, then again you can work backwards. You know, it's that kind of threshold.
Yeah.
For me, it shifts more toward. I've had CPMs started about maybe $9 right the way up. My average is now probably above 20. Like, to be honest, consistently. And again, it'll be based on what videos I do. It'll also be based on, you know, advertising budgets. People during the lockdown, they had suggested that advertisers weren't spending money as much. But I actually found that my niche was sought after, so I was okay. So it really depends on what niche. And that CPM and your views will drive your monetization payout that month. So there's no way to predict what you'll earn month to month, because 1 month your CPM average could half and it's how many views you know, so
you can still be tallying up the same number of views, but it doesn't mean as much as it
the same payout. So that's what to be. And also I kind of say to anyone who's creating new stuff, don't just chase the highest CPM values either, because the view count could be really low. Make videos that you want to make videos you're passionate about, and then whatever average you get, you know, you're comfortable with. That's just the content you're making, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense actually. I've been looking, obviously I've been kind of diving sort of deep into every kind of aspect that I think has sort of an influence over the sort of make or break of your channel, as it were. Have you had any kind of like breakaway moments or videos that kind of that 1 or 2 things that sort of like, actually, if I'd have known that little trick right back at the beginning, I would have done this right on the start line, or you've learned it the hard way? Anything kind of like insider nuggets that we could like take away?
Well, that's a really great question, Angela. Okay, I have not had breakthrough videos, you know, so that term means basically the number of watches is higher than your subscribers. So more people are finding you in the algorithm than are subscribed to your channel. So you're ranking high in SEO and stuff. So, I think I've actually had the hard work journey so far, you know, like a year and a bit, or 2 years of actually making content, but the year and a bit of really kind of, you know, building. I'm waiting for that kind of viral breakthrough. What's the nugget that I've learned? Okay, it's the same thing with anything, and I wish I had. Maybe could go back to Jennifer at the start and reassure her, like at the start, it feels slow. We've chatted about this. Yeah. It feels like you're putting out a video, nobody's watching, it's not going to go anywhere. You've got 2 people have signed up the whole month to your channel. You're like, this is going to take 20,000 years to get it out. You feel it. And I just kind of stayed true to the mindset of, if I keep making videos that people enjoy and I show up the best way I can, that's all I ever do. Like, I just try and like make sure the quality gets as good as I can make it based on what I'm learning. I also think about what could people be interested in that moment in time, what could they be searching for. Also try to make it real life, like a personality rather than just monotone talking about money. And I think that's what I'd go back and say. I would actually, sometimes when you look back and you go, well, what was I worrying about? What was this? You know, I should enjoy it. And it's very much compound interest. Like, it really does pick up. It's slow at the start. And I think actually any great thing is slow at the start. If you think about like weight loss or changing your nutrition or degrees or anything, it's all really small at the start, and then boom, it's life, it becomes you. So I like, honestly, if people get it too quick, you won't value it. I actually think if it comes like one viral hit and you've got 1 million subs, you won't care. You're like, I don't mind about it. So
you haven't had to earn it the same way as everybody else.
I think you need to earn your stripes. I think it's a balance. And I also think, though, unless you're committed to a year with YouTube, don't turn up. Like, you need to give this a year of making content every single week, maybe 2 videos. Because I've had people like DM on Instagram going, I've been doing it 14 weeks, right? I carry babies for 9 months. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to give it time. So, like, if you expect immediate success in 14 weeks, you're in the wrong field. There's too many people out there, and there's too many different videos that people could be watching. So that's my best advice, probably.
I think that's kind of a fair place to say, actually, because when I've been like kind of diving deep, I've been looking at sort of quite a few. I've got like my hit list of YouTubers that I kind of dive in and see what they're doing. There's one lady that's in America called Catherine Manning, which she's absolutely nailed it. This time last year, her channel hadn't yet monetized, and she's on nearly 250,000 subscribers. But it took her 18 months to get to monetization. So it was quite interesting, because when I started to sort of really put the sort of effort into sort of researching, am I going to do this? Is this the thing? You know, what's involved, that kind of stuff. Right. I'd literally stumbled across her channel, and so I've kind of followed her as her journey's gone, and it's been quite amazing, because she's literally somehow she's gained momentum really quickly once she's got to that monetization process. But you see her struggle, and you see her videos literally 12 months ago, and she's literally like, you know, I've been doing this, I've been, you know, I've got an extra 5 subscribers today, or something like that, and it's so small.
This is a journey.
Right now, the other extreme, she's like, I can't believe I've done what I've done. So with regards to the whole process, I think what I have been able to pick up as well, there's a couple of quirky people out there that have managed to do things in like sort of 0 to 60 in 3 seconds kind of thing. But most people, from what I've seen, is generally if you're hitting around about a year's traction, and I've given myself mentally that year kind of.
I think that's fair.
Basis. I think for me personally, my subscribers I'm quite good at collecting, even though they're going quite slowly. I do a lot of networking, and I'm liaising with my business in other environments, and once I talk to people and I start chatting, and then, or if I solve a problem, especially if I'm like, oh, just go check out this video or go check out that kind of video, the subscribers for me, I will have like kind of little batches of people in a few days where I've talked to people at a networking event. I'll suddenly have like 5 or 6 just join, and then they'll go quiet for a couple of days. But what I am finding now is that my channel is organically gaining subscribers. Exactly. So it's trickling through now. So I think like me, like you, my journey is going to be very similar, even though I'm only like 4 or 5 months in. It's going to be one of those cases where I'm trickling, and I'm going to get to the subscriber count, and then I'm going to still be fighting for those watch hours afterwards. So.
Exactly. There's a journey. And I think we also have to be relative. Like, we're in the UK as well, so your content will be promoted to people mainly searching YouTube UK. Yes. We see, and I guarantee you have probably seen a lot of US channels blow up, right? That term, they've had that's the demographic in the US that they get access to is 100 times bigger than the viewers that we will. So like, we look at success, oh, they've got 1 million, they've got 2. Yeah, but they're in the largest, densest population watching YouTube probably in the world. So keep it relative. Like, one country is not necessarily the same. If you went to India, you would have a different, subset of people who could access your videos. So remember, like, YouTube is also very regional. So actually, like, achieving, let's say, 10k subs maybe at this time next year for you, you should be celebrating that fact that 10,000 people in the UK have found your stuff out of 55 million. So we have to keep it relative sometimes as well.
Yeah, no, and I think that works quite nicely with me, because that actually, as a business, I want to work with UK businesses. So we kind of
exactly. So it's your anyway.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to basically ask you is about your kind of like filming and editing process, because for me, I dropped really early on. As you can tell, I like to do live videos. There's kind of 2 ethoses in my little way of life about why I've come to this. First of all, I was finding that the time it took me to film, edit, and perfect a video ready to publish it, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I like things the way I liked, and even if you saw my first videos, they are not where I want them to be. It was just eating up so much time in my week. So that was the first challenge, was the time investment. The second challenge, because I was actually trying to do YouTube as a way of sort of reinventing my business, because I've had a couple of years out, and I've worked for myself for like 23, 24 years, but due to a couple of family commitments, I've had a couple of years out. I thought my portfolio stuff was out of date and that kind of thing. And the best way to get my knowledge and expertise back out there is to show people live, because you can't fake it. You either know your thing or you can't. There's no opportunities to re-record and replay and edit out clips when things go wrong. So for me, the live aspect was quite empowering, because it shows that I know what I know when I know it, kind of thing. So that was kind of the 2 reasons behind why I went live. But the time aspect, let's talk about that just for a second, because I don't think a lot of people realize they have these visions, and there's the whole putting a video out because you've done it on your phone, which is what I was filming on, and I do film quite regularly on my phone, but I would edit the video and pimp it up with fancy graphics and things and stuff like that. Tell us your process, basically. How much time does it take for each video that you put out there and that kind of thing?
Great question. So I actually worked this kind of out. I did a workshop on Sunday with some people. So I was trying to work out timings to kind of give them advice as new YouTubers. So I think for me, so first of all, I manage it around my day job and a family. The boys are obviously at home right now. And so I will often film in lunch breaks. Like I'll take the 45-hour, and in an hour, I tend to get one video filmed. So I'll do different location shots. I use like Keynote on my iPhone as a kind of prompt. So I'll have that set up so I can flick through slides to make sure I'm concise. Okay, so then before that's happened though, because I'm talking about money, I can't just wing it really. I like the logical step. What am I going to tell them about? What am I going to demo? What am I going to do? So I usually give myself about an hour to research a topic, make those notes on my phone, to make sure I feel comfortable enough. If there's any demos I need to show, I've got it all lined up, any graphics I need to create. So that's an hour. So we're now at 2 hours. Then after that, you have thumbnail creation, you have editing. I would say it's another 3 hours, right? Yeah. So I'm now at 5. So that's usually, if I've researched a video, maybe in the early hours when everyone's quiet, recorded it at lunchtime, and then 2 to 3 hours at night, to do that, or at the weekend. So during lockdown, at one point, I was putting out 4 or 5 videos a week because I felt people really needed the money help during like March and April. So I did that. I really enjoyed that, but that was hard. That was like 2 full-time jobs.
Yes.
So now my schedule is really 2 or 3 videos a week. That's my comfort level. And so there has been opportunities where actually the editing, I've outsourced maybe for like a month at a time, just to even see the difference in what that makes. But a lot of the time I've actually found it's a lot more micromanagement as somebody else doing it. Yeah. Like you're constantly then going, is this video coming back? I need it for tomorrow, and all that. Yeah. So I worked out between like research, filming, editing, as I say, about the 5 or 6 mark per video. So if you want to do 2 videos a week, you need to give yourself 10 hours, like genuinely, because also when you're filming and you do want to do different camera scenes and all these luxuries, maybe a whiteboard or something, you need time to set up and move location, even in the best of presenters. And also my videos are about 15 to 25 minutes anyway. I like to gab, I like to talk, value for money. So I would feel that's fair, that actually if you want the edit process properly done, and I'm using Final Cut Pro X, I'm using all, the jazzy tools I can. And I think even 2 hours is pretty much a minimum edit with some stuff and that. Some people spend 8 hours on one edit.
Yeah, I know. When I was doing this at the beginning, so in March, when I was just starting this journey and I was doing 1 video a week, I was doing a similar sort of process. And I think my videos, I was estimating at about 7 hours a video. But because of the fact that there was so much stuff going on in my head that I want to share, and essentially that becomes like a full-time job. You could do that every day. Obviously there's no money aspect, but the time commitment would be a full-time job. So for me, I was getting quite frustrated with it, to be honest with you, because there was so much more that I wanted to explore, but at the rate I was going, it would take me like 4 or 5 years to get through the content. And so that was one of the motivating aspects, even though you'd set up all your edits and you've done everything the same way that you were saying, as in you planned out all your clips and you've done your intros and your outros and you've got the static graphics set up. It was still the editing, clipping it together, putting the background music in. And I think for me, this is why I've been playing a little bit, because I can do what you do now with regards to doing the different desktops, doing the screens. I've got my Wacom tablet now, so I can do a whiteboard live on my screen. And it does mean that I have to be quite hot on the technology aspect, and that can sometimes come across when I'm like, just give me a second because something's gone wrong, or I've just hit the wrong button and I've lost where I am in my little like kind of management aspect. But for me now, doing a live video in comparison to doing it the way that you're doing it at the moment, I still have the same research. And generally I talk about topics as well that I know that I can off the cuff without a lot of effort, and I can understand how the finance, you're looking at like the current day's rates and things like that, that's going to change. So for me, the knowledge aspect is easier to explain because it's what my skill set is. So I find that generally I have about half an hour's prep for my videos, and what I do then is I approach it from the point that I try and take a general topic, break it down into maybe 5 or 6 sort of many topics I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm working it in my mind. I'm trying to think, okay, I want a video that's about 12 to 15 minutes long, and it's about 2 or 3 minutes then per topic. By the time I've got my intro, my outro, and I've done my close, it kind of all falls together. And that's how I've been planning it. But of course, once I've done it, it's then job done for me, whereby you've still got to do all the editing and that. So I essentially, obviously this video now we're up to 25 minutes because it's a live interview. It's slightly different, but essentially in my world, my videos now are about a 2-hour process, because once it's live, I've got about half an hour's tasks promoting it through social media, and then it's just done and I carry on with my day. So the live aspect is harder, definitely, and it can be a little bit like I just got, and there's a couple of videos when I go look back and I'm like, oh, it's just, maybe I should just be doing this. But the time aspect has definitely, I mean, it's allowed me to go live almost daily now, and that so in that same 10-hour investment, 2 hours a day, that's 5 videos, and that makes a bit of a difference. And I'm finding, like, I didn't do a video yesterday and I've had no traction on my channel. So it's like the videos now have to be daily with me because of the way that I've trained my audience, and that's working for me. So yeah, but it's quite the journey. So before we go any further, let's sort of just wrap up. Is there any other like last little kind of tips and things that you want to share?
I would just probably say you've had some insight that all journeys are different, right? And I think I really don't like to see when new creators basically copy other people. I don't want, I get excited when you bring a new flavor. Like, I think it's amazing. And I think I probably need your knowledge, like for the live streaming whiteboards, that I would love to do that. So I love the fact that you've embraced a very organic, what fits with your skill set and using YouTube, right? People will resonate to that. For me, I see a lot of people just copying what other people are doing, particularly money. Like, it's all about, oh, this is a stock to buy, or this is, no, bring something fresh to the table. I like, the person, I like watching you. Show me your side, show me your angle, show me how you do videos. And I think that's what anything I would say, like, if you have this goal of monetization, it's not the holy grail. It should actually be, I want to be a thought leader. I want to help people. And I think the moment you go for that avenue, the rewards come anyway with life. You're standing out for something that's positive and uplifting. So never lose the organic uniqueness. Go with it, embrace it, and don't be led by an algorithm. Do what you feel's right.
No worries. Okay, well, I'm going to sort of wrap it up now because we're getting on for about half an hour. So as you saw at the beginning of the video, I did put Mamafurfur's YouTube channel up on screen, and you can find that by going to youtube.com/C for channel and then /Mamafurfur, just as it's written on screen there. And let's face it, there's not many of you. Okay, so if you want your finance tips, this is the lady to go to. I've been watching all her videos, absolutely love it, which is why I've wanted you on my channel for a wee while. So thank you very much indeed for coming along. I hope you've had a blast.
It's been super. The half an hour is gone. We could have done an hour and a half.
I know. I actually feel like this could be quite dangerous, the two of us together. So anyway,
wonderful.
So if you have liked today's content, you found some use in it, do remember that you can subscribe to my channel, stay notified, and that's pretty much it from me today. So my camera has literally just died. It's telling me it's time to go.
I'll say bye then.
Guys.